Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 10th round of Season 13 in Division 2. Yeah, we have the Singapore Grand Prix today, the third to last race of the season. So we're really getting into crunch time now. And hopefully another exciting race in store for us today. It's the longest track in terms of race time on the calendar. So it should be, yeah, we should be in for a long race, first of all. Of course, it's a rather I'm gonna call it an old school street track in the sense that it's more like the street tracks that we used to get, sort of Monaco, yeah, closer to Monaco than it would be to a Baku or Saudi Arabia, in terms of the track characteristics. It's very narrow, lots of slow speed corners, very technical, and only a handful of overtaking opportunities. All dry, thank you, Gabri. So, no rain for tonight's race. At the moment, I am alone for commentary. Both Phantom and Jonathan said they might join us, yeah, midway through, so we'll see if any of either of them end up making it. Hopefully, they do, because I do have to say, a 31-lap Singapore race can feel a bit, lonely or boring. What's Pinky doing? Intermediate tires on Pinky's car, which is an interesting choice because, like Gary said, there shouldn't be any rain, so it's not like these gambling for rain to come before they start the laps anyways. We'll go on board with the car behind them then, which is the McLaren of Edwin. There we have Sully coming in as well. Yeah, Sully and Dylan should be... Oh, Sully already joined, but Dylan as well should be joining mid-qualifying. They both didn't download the update that was released today. Which I do have to say, it's a very weird, like... It's very weird that we even got an update this late in the game cycle. We're 1 month away from the next game, from F1 24 releasing, and we got another update for the Formula 1 23 game. Although I suspect it is really only for esports, since they one major thing they fixed was the potholes that were plaguing the Abu Dhabi track. Basically, the ground was very uneven, and cars would often bottom out and sometimes just full on flip. That was rather rare, but normally you just lose some time as you bottom out, going over some like bumps in the potholes. Yeah, potholes in the track. And they fixed that now. So I guess they did that for esports, since they're about to have the season finale in esports, and I'm sure the esports drivers wouldn't really appreciate losing a championship maybe to a pothole. But we don't have to worry about that. We're not racing Abu Dhabi tonight or anywhere in this season, I think. We are in Singapore. And Kucho, the first one, is going to put in a competitive lap time, I think. Yeah, the Mercedes ahead of him is Sully, and then the other ahead of him is Pinky, who is running intermediate, so we can ignore him for now. I'm gonna guess that we'll have a high 128 as a pole time. I think that is sort of the times I would expect from the faster guys in this division. Kucho just avoiding that curb on the inside there, which is perfect. It understands the car a lot for the exit and here as well. Although not quite as far to the inside as he would like to be at the Apex. Now in the Singapore Sling, or well, what's left of it anyway. They removed the take-off curb, you could say. And now he's in his teammate right in front of him. Some slipstream games being played here by AlphaTauri, I think. And pretty well timed as well, Kucho, with a toe all the way down to turn 14. And now the new section of the track. Oh well, I mean, it's just a straight, but they removed, of course, the 2 chicanes and replaced them with 1 straight leading into these, this final chicane here that's still left. Straight lining the final sector basically and making it a lot more straightforward, and across the final corner and over the line. That's a 129.372 by Kucho, the first lap time of the session, and Pinky with a 38.1, as I expected, not a competitive lap time. He let his teammate through. Ewek, a 30.5 in second place there. The next car across the line is the McLaren of Edwin, 29.482, just over a tenth away from Kucho there. Top 2 rather close. We've got Sean approaching the end of a lap here as well. Bit of a mistake there in the turn 16 and 17 chicane. That cost him a bit of exit speed, I would say, and now through the final corner, takes him in 6th gear. DS Open over the lines, a 29.484, 2,000s behind Edwin. Very close between those two. And JM, across the line right behind him, 29.554. So Edwin, Sean, and JM, very, very close together, those three. We have Gabriel on lap as well here in his Ferrari, a 104.2 in the middle sector, which I think is very similar to what Kucho did. His teammate Kevin behind him on track as well. So we'll see both Ferraris completing their first lap pretty shortly after one another. Gabi first over the line, 29.297, the new fastest time. And now we can see Kevin, 4.7 in the middle sector, so that's significantly slower. 5/10 slower than Gabi in the middle sector. We'll see if he does better in the final. 130.000. Not the best of qualifying, or starts of qualifying for Kevin there. 7/10 of pole position as Ewek. We don't know on the slow lap anyway, I was going to say got blocked, but no. Sully, he's on a hot lap at the moment. His first lap of the session. P13 at the moment for the Mercedes driver. Sends the car in. And DS Open over the line 130.561. Not the greatest slot start to qualifying for him either. P8. Well off the front runners there. Gabi at 29.297, Kucho 29.372, and Edwin 29.482. Then Sean 29.484, JM 29.555. I think we've got a top 5 here at the moment, it seems. Before, yeah, then there's a pretty significant gap between JM and Kevin of 4.5 tenths. Then another 5 tenths to Ebex. So Kevin is in his, like, he's got 5 tenths in front and behind, kind of. In his own world there in P6 right now. Of course, we still have a lot of time left in qualifying. Plenty of drivers who could still improve. Or even put in their first laps as well. Desi, Marcelio, and Bazooka. Not putting any laps in so far. We're also still waiting on Dylan to join. I hope his update is done soon. Okay, it's not up here. Let's see if he... I have also, finally discovered why the alphabetical order of my friends list resets, because it does not, like, it orders by caps as well, so they, like, wait, we can go through this, there's nothing going on right now anyway. So notice all of these names, they have the first letter in their name capitalized, and they are all sorted alphabetically. And then, right here, where it goes from X to B, it's no longer capitalized, and all of these guys are now in non-capitalized letters at the start of the name. So I have no idea what it took me so long to figure out. I don't know why it's like this. Why it's not like, why is Blackberry Hall? Why does it consider the capitalized letter different from the normal B? But yeah, at least I now know why it happened. Took me I think it's been doing this ever since they released crossplay. So a long time to figure that one out. So yeah, but finally I've understood why that happens. Desi goes over the white line there at turn 14, but the game doesn't get away with it, as apparently lost enough time for the game to not consider it worth invalidating the lap. Got Bazooka on the lap as well, although he goes a bit deep there into the Singapore sling. And now Desi across the final corner. It's gonna be a 130.235. So about 1.5 tenths separating Desi and Kevin there in 7th and 8th. Otherwise, splitting the two as he is in 7th there, 30.085. So now Kevin has got some, people joining him close to his 130.000. Bazooka, let's see, can I get his sector time? I cannot. So we'll have to wait and see where he's gonna end up. We did see him make a mistake when I was on board with him previously. We'll see if that has cost him a lot of time. It seems to have, yeah, it's a 131.118. Not a great lap time whatsoever. P12. And the only driver with a lap behind him is Pinky, who was in the intermediates earlier and I think only drove out to give Kucho a slipstream. Kucho's back out on track as well. 36 thousandths down in the first sector. His teammate gave him a slipstream, of course, after turn 13. After the Anderson Bridge right here. So we'll see, he's probably going to lose some time down this straight. But we'll see if he's maybe gained enough in the corners to Yeah, I count from that. Dia is open, Red Bull on his left hand side going out the way nicely. And that's a 124, sorry. Just over a 10th up for Kutscher. So he is on for a new fastest time. Edwin, Sean, JM, Gabri all out on track as well though. So expect to see a lot of movement in the top 5 soon. Kutscher the first one of them as he comes out of the chicane, the second to last corner, now into the final corner. Fifth gear, gets the car rotated in. Dia is open over line 129.015, 3.5 tenths gained by Kutscher. Edwin is invalidated. Sean in the first sector, down by 4 thousandths. JM is furthest along this lap, out of the front runners. As he goes out the hairpin now, back onto the power. Dia is open. He's got both Aston Martins in front of him, Bazooka and Marcelio. So hopefully that won't be an issue for him. 1.5 tenths gained. Ooh, the Aston Martin cuts back out of the... that certainly would have been ideal. Now he's getting a bit of a slipstream from that Aston Martin up in front, so that might actually be helping him somewhat. Now he moves off to the right hand side. JM, a very nice line through chicane as well. Bit careful on the throttle on the exit maybe. And now over the line. What's it gonna be? Stays in 6th gear all the way through. That's a 129.405. He jumps into 3rd place. He jumps Edwin and Sean. Sean with a purple middle sector up by 2 tenths here. Gabri up by 66 thousandths in the first. Sean currently in 5th, 29.484. Marco dropped the 6th as well there, I think at some point, which I didn't notice. So Sean, one more corner to go. How far up the field can he jump now? That's a 129.187. He jumps into 2nd with a 3/10 gain. Now Gabri, the last one out of these front runners still on the lap, as he clips the apex curve of turn 13. Might have impacted his exit a bit there. Kevin on the lap right behind him as well, so both Ferraris flying information again. Gabri up by 2.5 tenths. We'll check Kevin as well, he's up by 1.5 tenths. So Kevin at the moment, maybe he's gonna beat Marco, that will be about it, unless he's made a mistake in the final sector earlier. Gabri stays in 4th gear for the chicane. On the power really early there. Really good exit. Down the 5th. Full throttle over the line, it's a 128.963 and Gabri reclaims pole position. Kevin goes across the line behind him, 29.754, gains 2.5 tenths and jumps Marco for P7. Sully gains 2 tenths as well as he goes into 11th, a 130.330, or stays in 11th I should say. Pinky on his first proper lap as well now, of course, gaining massive amounts of time compared to his previous lap on the intermediates. Marcelio finishing his first lap of the quali session. And he's gonna go into P13, 31.889, no 899, sorry. Both Aston Martins right now in 12th and 13th. The only reason they're not last is that Pinky has not completed the proper lap here. We have 5 minutes left to go in qualifying. So Pinky is at a bit of pressure here. He has to get this lap in, and has to be a good one. Especially if what I'm seeing in chat right now is correct. Sean saying rain at the end of qualifying. So we'll see if that is gonna come in the end. Dylan is now joined, finally, right end of qualifying, 5 minutes to go. So he's gonna get 1 lap here, right in the end. Pinky up by 5.5 seconds in the middle sector. We'll see how far up the grip he can jump here. Of course, we know Pinky is a very, very fast driver. Of course, last season in Singapore, he also started on pole position. And this time around, that's a 29.688, and he jumps into 7th. Not quite as far up the grid as he would have liked, I think. 7 tenths of Gabri. Gabri is 28.9 and really, really strong. And Kutscher not far behind, 29.015. Those two, very strong at the moment. It's going to be a tough ask, I think, for anyone to get close in those times. Desi up by just over 2 tenths in the first sector alone. So he might be trying to, or might be able to break into the top 10 here. If he can beat Oweiss, and maybe then he can do a little bit more as well if he can, yeah, gain some more in the middle and final sector as well on that 130.235 he did earlier. Over the Anderson Bridge, bit of wheel spin there, as he's on the power really, really early. And all over the curb on the inside there. Back on the power, Dia is open. And down towards turn 14. That's a 104.637 middle sector. Up by 1.5 tenths. All the way out the white line. Using all of the track that's available. Stays away from the left hand side. There stays a bit of a bump there. Which loses some time, but I think... Has it just started raining? Yes, it started to rain. Right at the end of Desi's lap. And that could be... yeah, effectively the end of qualifying. It's not going to be very hard for people to gain any more time. Desi comes across the line, does gain 4 tenths still. 29.808. But he might be the last one who's gonna get proper lap. And Bazooka is up by 4/10 in the first sector. But now that this rain is coming in, how's that gonna affect him? Oh, that's not look good at all. That is, yeah, this is not looking good for Bazooka. That was a major mistake there, but we did see him make a major mistake on his previous lap as well, so Bazooka, yeah, not with the greatest qualifying right now. Down by 2/10 in the middle sector. Edwin is out on track as well, 81 thousandths up in the first sector, but is he gonna have any chance to improve on that? We'll see if he crosses the sector 2 timing line. He's down by a full second, and I think that's confirmed it. That is qualifying over. I don't think we'll be seeing any more improvements now with the rain coming in. Edwin retiring as well. Ebert retiring. Yep, I think this is done. The rain is too intense. There will be no more improvements. Marcellia with a spin coming out of turn 3 there. Dylan out on track for what will be his only lap, but I am fairly certain he will stay in last here, as the track is already looking rather wet. You can see the puddles starting to form, and now almost the entire field is retired. We are done. Sean goes back to the pits, doesn't even bother starting the lap, and that is confirmation. Gabriel on pole, a 28.963, followed by Kutro in second, 29.015, Sean in third, 29.187, JM in fourth, 29.405, Edwin in fifth, 29.482, DAS is disabled now. Ewag in sixth, 29.597, Pinky in seventh, 29.688, Kevin in eighth, 28.754, Desi in ninth, 29.808, Marco rounding out the top 10, 29.812, only 4,000 separating Desi and Marco there. Allwise in 11th, the first driver outside the target time, which was set, the 130.000, and always in the 130.085. Then Sully in 12th, 130.330. Bazooka in 13th, 31.118. Marcelio in 14th, 31.899, as we see Dylan drifting across the track here, who hasn't put a lap in yet, but I mean, I am fairly confident that whatever lap he does set is not going to put him any higher than 15th. He is sideways all the way around here. It is a massive struggle to keep the Haas in a straight line. Locks up a little bit as well. As we go to the Anderson Bridge, the track is it's definitely fully intermediate conditions at this point. The car does not want to brake whatsoever. Any brake input just seems to lock the tires up. He has to be really, really clever on the throttle. Wheel spin all the way up to 5th gear. Now the car's finally got some grip. Brakes at the 100-meter board. The rear's lock. Oh, he drifts around the corner. He's caught it. And now back to wheel spin on the exit. So careful, so gentle on the throttle, and still the car is doing, all sorts of things, but not driving in a straight line. Once again, a massive lockup, and he's gone completely off the track in the chicane here. That might be an invalidation. Yep, the lap doesn't even count. That's going to be Dylan back to the pit lane. If he actually manages... Oh, what a drift! That was beautiful. I was going to say if he actually manages to make the pit entry, but he has... Oh! Almost blew the wall. And there we go. That's qualifying done for the Singapore Grand Prix. Dylan not pulling a lap in the end and stays in 15th. Just like I thought, of course, the rain coming down, it was going to be near on impossible to beat anyone. So yeah, here we have it again, all in one overview. The qualifying results for the Singapore Grand Prix. Already went through all of them, so I'm not gonna bother you with that again. Instead, we can have a quick look at the championship standings after last week's race. There were a few stewards' decisions which changed the results. I think Kevin moved up one place, for example. And the situation now is that Kevin leads on 114 points, with Kucho only 2 points behind on 112, then Sean only 8 points behind Kevin in third on 106. Then we have Bazooka and Gabby tied for fourth on 87 points. They are 27 behind, and then JM with 85, 29 points behind. So I think those 6 are our main drivers to look for in the Drivers' Championship. And with only 3 races to go, especially for the likes of Gabby and JM, who are 27 points behind, they are going to need to gain a good amount of points today if they want to have a realistic chance to to stay in this title fight. Here we are on the grid. I'm expecting hard, medium, medium hard. The soft medium certainly isn't viable, and the soft hard, your soft hard just drops off too much, and the hard stint is too long. It's not ideal. Like it's maybe viable in terms of going for a big undercut, but with the likelihood of safety cars as well, I think, yeah, for me personally, the best strategy for Singapore is a hard medium. That's what I like to go for, and then pit around lap 16, 17. But here we are! 5 red lights, no more strategy talk, we're focused on racing for now. Gabri on the left-hand side, Kutscher on the right, and Gabri gets away decently. I don't think Kutscher pulled alongside there, we'll see in a moment. Yeah, Gabri fully ahead in the turn 1. Beautiful start, JM sends it on Sean Moole, but bottoms out on the curb there. Sean safe in the third. Edwin tries to hang around the outside of JM. Edwin on the mediums, making good use of those tires there immediately, but JM is able to defend the position for now at least. Marco and Desi squabbling over 8th. Desi tries to send into the apex, but Marco has him covered off. Gabri still leading comfortably from Kutscher, but Edwin trying it once again on JM, around the outside into turn 7 now. But JM once again is good at cover. They both go off track there as they miss their braking point ever so slightly. Pinky, oh, goes into the back of Edwin. That might be damage for the AlphaTauri driver. That was a rather, rather hard impact as well. And he's dropped back significantly already. So keep an eye on Pinky. He might have just picked up some damage in the early stages of this Grand Prix. Gabri extending the gap to 6/10 to Kutscher already, trying to break out of that DRS as early as possible. So they are all now following down the Anderson Bridge, flying in formation. The front wing of Pinky looks to be intact, at least mostly, so if there is damage, it's fairly minor. But of course he does have Kevin breathing down his neck, who's going to want to go for that move. Start moving, up the order and get himself in the position. The championship leader, of course, does not only be stuck down in 7th, while Gabri, Kutscher, Sean and JM are from, running in 1st and 4th. But now Marco actually has a little look up here instead of Kevin. Doesn't quite complete the move in the end. See, bottoms out on the curb there. Desi closing in a lot, might have a little look at a move. GM has underfueled the car, so he has gone for a very risky strategy here. He is very much reliant on safety cars. Because of anything, you need to overfuel for a track like Singapore, where you're running very high wings. The fuel calculation is done with a lot lower wings than what most league races will be running. And the higher your wings are, the more fuel you need. So, Singapore definitely is a track where you need a bit of extra fuel in the car than what the fuel calculation says. So when that yellow fuel light is on, you know he might be in danger. He's definitely relying on safety cars. He's underfueled by 0.1, so not too much. If there is at least one safety car, he should be fine. Sean is dropped out of the DRS to Kutscher, so Kutscher and Gabri running away with this race right now at least, as we're on lap 2. DRS enabled at the end of this lap. But of course, losing DRS is of course not ideal around Singapore, but there's certainly worse tracks for it. There is 3 DRS zones, but they're all fairly short, and there's lots of corners in between them. Unlike maybe a Monza, a Brazil, where it's a lot more... you lose a lot more time by not having DRS than you do around here. And you also have less opportunity to regain that time. So it's not the end of the world if you drop DRS, but certainly it will be preferable if you are in DRS range in the car ahead. Because of course, the DRS can only ever gain you time. But Sean, just hovering outside that once again area right now. Gabri with the new fastest lap. As he's not able to break away from Kutscher. They're both pretty decent ERS. It's not like they've burned everything. Sean actually burned way more. So Kutscher and Gabri just seem to have a lot longer pace than Sean does in this opening stage. JM on those hards hanging well there as well, in 4th position. Most in the field on the mediums. But he's doing well to hang on to 4th. Just doing what he needs to, and he's going to come into his own once the pit stop phase starts, and he can change onto the mediums, although he's burned burned all of his battery in fact, not a lot, all of it. Sully and Desi with a little fight over 10th there, and Sully comes on top. Into the points paying position for him. Dylan on his comeback drive after his late run in qualifying screwed him over as the rain started coming down right as he joined, and robbed him of any chance of actually completing a lap there. Although wow, with a good exit, maybe down towards the Singapore sling. Not a conventional overtaking spot, but Dylan makes it work. Dylan up into 8th, and Desi staring at the back of that Haas now, thinking how have I let that happen. Bazooka also trying to put a move on E-Wake here. Of course, Bazooka well, he was one of the title contending drivers, but he's had a difficult few races now, and he's kind of dropped off in title fight. Let me quickly check where he's actually, because I didn't even... oh, he's in 4th. On 87 points, okay. So he's actually tied with Gabi, so nothing lost for him yet, but... that 14th position that might be where it's then lost for him. Well, he does now make the move on Ewek, although Ewek does hang in there. Bazooka on the outside line for the final corner. Desi into the pit lane. Very early on, Ewek has to back out, and Bazooka moves up into 12th as Desi goes for a very, very early pit stop. Lap 4 of this race. Onto medium tires and a wing change for the Red Bull driver, so he's picked up some damage somewhere. Not entirely sure what happened to him. I didn't see him make any contact with a wall or another driver, but might just have happened while I wasn't watching. Or when I was watching another battle. The top 8 all in a DRS train, but all fairly far apart. 5 tenths, 9 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, and so on. So while they are all staying close to each other, no one is really in attacking position. They are just barely able to follow. And it's not really... yeah, it's calmed down very quickly. We're on lap 4 and already the gaps are pretty large. And no one is really in contention to overtake the car ahead of them. The closest is this little train of Dylan, Bazooka and Ewek from 11th to 13th. No points in offer for these positions, but of course only one position away from the top 10 and still lots of laps to go. I think it's very likely that this battle will eventually turn to a battle for points, but Dylan with a bit of a mistake, as we saw him sideways through the hairpin. Bazooka has closed in a lot and might take advantage of that now. Dylan goes a bit deep and Bazooka with a much better exit. Now burning some overtake, he's going to go for the move. Yes, he is, to the outside line for the chicane. He clears him for the braking zone. Dylan has to give up on P11 and let Bazooka go through. And he's now got Ewek to contend with. Ewek is going to want to follow through as well. Bazooka on his comeback drive to stay in this championship fight. Of course, only 2 races to go, so if he drops out of 50... if he drops out of 52 points to the championship leader, which right now is Kevin, that would mean he's out of the title fight. He's 27 behind right now, so if Kevin wins this race and Bazooka scores 0, Bazooka will no longer be in championship contention. Of course, Kevin in 7th, Bazooka in 11th at the moment, so at the moment he'd be, well, I wouldn't say it'd be fine, but he would at least would still be in mathematical contention. But even then, being 27 points behind, with only 2 more races to go after this, not an ideal situation to be in. Especially if you're then also running in 11th. Bazooka has a lot to do in this race. After the, mediocre qualifying. Pinky has now dropped out of the DRS to Edwins. The train is slowly separating, it seems, at the front. Those gaps are starting to open up a bit more and more over time. Kucho himself has lost DRS to Gabri, which will certainly be great news for Ferrari fans, and for Kucho, that is awful. 1.2 seconds behind, and he's now vulnerable as well to Sean and JM, as Edwin has lost contact with JM. Those Hearts are doing very well right now. I mean, I'm surprised he's able to keep up the pace this much. He's got no ERS to work with anymore, so this is pure driving pace from JM on a worse tire with a derated battery. So he has got less straight line speed than anyone around him, and still is able to very easily stay within range to Sean Moore. Could try to spend a bit of ERS to get himself back into contention against Gabri. Although, or back into DRS range, I should say. Gabri on about 80%, Kucho on about 60%. So at the moment, Gabri looking really strong. His pace in the early stages of this race, by far the best, I would say. Confirming his great qualifying. As Sully goes for the move on Owais. I think Owais might have gone a bit deep there. I'm not sure why Sully so suddenly was able to attack him there, but he moves up into 9th anyway. And Owais has to concede the position and maybe fight back later. About 3 seconds in the next car behind him, which is Bazooka. So we'll see if Bazooka can catch up in the points paying positions and get himself involved in that fight. You can see Kevin's red light flashing. Marco himself also at about 20%, so both not in ideal situations right now. Kevin hanging on to the ERS of Pinky. Oh wow, all of these guys, JM, Edwin, Pinky, Kevin, Marco, none of these guys have ERS left at this point. Sean hasn't got that much left either. Kutscher not around. Gabi is the only driver in the top 8 who really has a lot of ERS left. They've all burnt a lot very early on. And the thing with Singapore is, the ERS doesn't recover all that much because you don't have a lot of... I mean, you have a lot of slow corners and... yeah, where you would think, well, you should be recharging ERS here. But the braking zones are so short, because the straights before those corners also aren't very long, that you simply don't regain a lot of energy. Dylan in the pits. I'm guessing for a wing change after 6 laps on hards, this makes no sense otherwise. So he must have picked up damage somewhere. And no wing change, just a change onto mediums. Interesting. Kutscher is now firmly out of the DRS range of Gabi, 1.6 seconds behind. And he's got Sean and JM all over the back of him, ready to pounce and take that second position away from Kutscher. Edwin 1.6 behind, and then another 1.8 to Kevin, who has got Kevin, to Pinky, sorry, to Kevin, and then Kevin all over the back of him, as well as Marco. Both Marco and Kevin definitely looking at a move against Pinky as they want to move up to 6th and 7th. Although Marco might maybe also be thinking, let those guys fight, and maybe I can just pick up the pieces when they would maybe have some contact. But Kevin not the greatest of exits there, and that allowed Pinky to stay in front for now at least. But it definitely seems like a matter of when, not if, Kevin will get this move done. He seems to be the fastest driver out on track at the moment compared to Pinky. Omais trying to recover against Sully still. Just closing that gap a bit after he got passed earlier. But I think we'll keep an eye on the battle for 6th right now. One eye as well on the battle for 2nd, as Sean is, I think, a bit too far behind to go for the move on Kutscher. But we'll just we'll watch it anyway. We'll see if Sean maybe burns some overtake here down the back straight. The air is open. ES enabled, but I think he's too far behind. Oh, is he? Here comes Sean up the inside. Oh, Kutscher leaving the space. Sean does not get fully into that gap. And Kutscher hangs on the P2 for at least one more lap. Similar happens to Pinky and Sully as in defend against Always. Dylan's back in the pits again. So I'm guessing what happened here is he forgot to set his wing change to yes. And the damage wasn't large enough that the game automatically changed to wing. Yep, there we go, a wing change for Dylan. And he goes on to another freshen of mediums, so he's now used both his mediums, although, I mean, only the one lap on the one he was just on, so it's not too bad. I still think the main battles are on track right now. Kutscher, Sean and JM, Pinky, Kevin and Marco, and then Sully and Always. Marco, up the inside of Kevin maybe? Nope, Kevin has got that covered off rather easily. But it has cost him a chance of putting a move on Pinky. Kutscher still holding on for 2nd here, but he goes a bit deep there on the final corner. Just within track limits, so might actually have been perfect by Kutscher. But I'm not sure, maybe we had to go on the throttle a bit late to avoid going off track there. Didn't seem ideal, I would say. 4/10 gap right now. Is that large enough for Kutscher to hang on to 2nd? They are very, very similar on ERS right now. We'll see. Is Sean gonna burn? No, this time around it seems like... okay, I think Sean is not gonna just recharge the battery for a bit and have another proper go later on. Kevin still cannot make a move on Pinky happen. Does not have enough ERS to get alongside on these very short straights. That's the problem with Singapore, you need some ERS advantage. Ewek puts a move in Bazooka and moves up into 11th. Like I was saying, you need to have ERS available, otherwise it will be very, very difficult to make a move happen. The straights are not long enough to get alongside purely with using the ERS. You need to have the ERS available. And right now, Kevin doesn't have it available, Sean doesn't have it available. And yeah, Always is working on recharging it. But then again, Always is a lot further back from Sully than Kevin is from Pinky and Sean is from Kutscher. So that is what is costing him the chance right now. You need to be very close behind and you need to have a lot of ERS to make a move happen around this track. If anything, Marco seems closer to making a move on Kevin than Kevin does to Pinky. The problem that Marco has is that Pinky's giving Kevin DRS, which negates the advantage that Marco would have by having DRS available against Kevin. Oh! Nice catch by Marco there. That was almost the end of his race, as he got onto the curb in the final corner and just kind of bounced and the car lost balance. But thankfully for him, a good reaction saved his car and he's all in one piece still. And still able to fight for the 6th position. Oh, bit of a mistake from Pinky there, and that might be the chance Kevin needs. Let's see. DRS enabled. Has he got the run on Pinky? Doesn't seem like it. Pinky still holding him off very nicely and stays in 6th position. Gap widening there as well. Pinky now 4 seconds behind Edwin. So the top 5 really running away from the field, and then Gabriel as well. 3 seconds back to Kucho. So Gabri in a wall of his own right now, and then Kucho, Sean and JM, as well as Edmund in a wall of their own against the cars behind, Pinky, Kevin, Marco, and then Sully and Always as well. I think Sully I think is starting to gain as well on this train up ahead. Sully and Always maybe joining soon in the fight for P6. They are definitely closing in on Marco. And once Sully isn't at the DRS range, it would be a lot tougher for Marco to get rid of him again. The thing that I'm not quite sure about is maybe, I don't think Kevin and Marco are really being held up by Pinky much. As Desi, with a spin, and a virtual safety car, he's lost his entire front wing there. A virtual safety car on lap 10. And that is... Oh! That is so very, very unlucky for Gabri there. Kucho is in the pits and Sean, but Kucho was basically crawling into the pit lane. Edwin is in as well. Those guys are not going to go into hard tires to go to the end. Pinky in, Kevin in, Marco in. Gabri missed the pit entry, and JM of course on the hards. It's too early for it to stop onto mediums. Sully in, Always in, everyone is in. Bazooka is staying out. Yeah, that safety car was perfectly timed for all of these guys to make their pit stop. And very, very unlucky timing for Gabri and JM. JM on the hard tires, yeah, couldn't really make a pit stop, and Gabri was too far along on the track. Although, these hard tires, they now have to do 20 laps, which is definitely, it's very easily possible. They're not gonna get a puncture or anything, but they are gonna lose a good amount of time. Yeah, going so long. That might be what ends up saving Gabri. DRS enabled, we're back under green flags, no drive-through penalties for anyone, thankfully. And Kucho leads this train of the VSC stoppers, you could say. They might run into Bazooka as well. They are only 5 seconds back from him. So that could help Gabri as well somewhat if they get held up behind Bazooka. Edwin has used his VSC to catch up to Sean and Kucho. He's now in DRS range from the two of them, after having been about 1 second behind consistently earlier. Kevin has jumped Pinky in the pit lane. As Pinky had a double stack behind Kucho, of course. So Kevin is finally in clean air. Now we can see his real pace, you could say. We can see if he can drive away from Pinky, who now has to contend with Marco. Sully is close in as well. Always has lost a good amount of time in the pit entry there, it seems. He's 4 seconds behind Sully, and there shouldn't have been any double stacks, with Always being the... Oh no, of course, he might have double stacked behind Edwin. I'm sorry. Although Edwin is far enough ahead, I think Always would have been fine in terms of double stack, I'm not sure. Either way, either there was a double stack or maybe Always had a really slow pit entry or exit. Who knows? Pinky has barely hung on to the DRS of Kevin, and that's saved him from being overtaken by Marco. So I'm sure Marco is hoping that Kevin can just extend that gap a little bit more. Kucho's already half the gap to Bazooka. They were 6 seconds behind when they came out of the pits, now it's 2.9. So they're gonna be at the back of Bazooka at the end of this lap probably, which is good timing. You wanna catch someone near the end of your lap so that you can immediately go ahead and make the move, either on the main straight or before or going to Memorial Corner on the second DS of the lap. In this is turn 7. So I would say that's the main overtaking opportunity. Making a move anywhere else on the track is rather difficult. Of course, Kucho is already able to see Bazooka right in front of him. And he should be in DRS range by the time he gets onto the main straight, and he can close the gap a little bit more, and then hopefully make the move into Memorial Corner. And that will be very crucial as well, as if you can get a car in between him and Sean, especially at that position with Bazooka being about 3 seconds left slower right now, that could be massive. That could be massive for Kucho. If he can pass Bazooka, and Sean can't follow through immediately, that one lap that Sean and Edwin could be stuck behind Bazooka might end up being crucial here. So this could be a deciding moment in this Grand Prix. Kucho needs to get past and needs to hope that Bazooka stays in front of Sean and Edwin. He is practically pushing him now, as he is all over the back of the Aston Martin. And we go on to the DRS straight. Kucho should be easily past here, that shouldn't be any question, but what about Sean? I think Sean will follow through as well. Bazooka staying on the right hand side there. Okay, Sean and Kucho are through. Sean going for a move on Kucho as well. Sean takes P3 in this race, yes! Edwin though is stuck behind Bazooka. Is he gonna send it? Yes, he is gonna send it, and he gets to the apex first. Beautiful move by Edwin, and a very crucial move as well, as he could not allow himself to be stuck behind Bazooka for any amount of time really. Those 12 lap old mediums significantly slower than the fresh hards. In all of that, Marco picked up a time penalty, as Marcelio has come in for a wing change. Now in lap 13, I think we are close to the pit stop phase for mediums anyway. I think around lap 14 is the lap that the game suggests for you to pit. We'll see if Gabri goes for that, maybe earlier, maybe later. I think Gabri's in, yes. Gabri the pit stop on lap 13, so a bit earlier than usual. And he's probably going to end up, I'm going to guess, in between Bazooka and Kevin. We'll see. On the hard compound, of course. Sean, Kucho and Edwin will have him easily with the VSC pit stop on the undercut. But then, how far behind will Gabri be? Can he close that gap once again? Only a 3-lap tire advantage. Bazooka's in. And Gabri is going to come up behind this group of Kevin, Pinky and Marco as well. It's going to be close, and it's going to be crucial. No, Gabri has come out in front of Kevin, and he's in clean air. And that is absolutely crucial for him. On those fresh tires, he's now about 6 seconds back against Edwin. 3-lap tire advantage. Can Gabri close that gap again and take back the lead of the race that he had by about 3 seconds before the VSC, which really was some awful timing for him. Kevin is not attacking his teammate. Gabri stays safely in 5th. So great timing on the hit stop by Gabri there, I have to say. If he had stayed on a lap longer, he would have been behind all 3 of these guys, and maybe Sully as well. And that would have been, I think, the end of any chance of getting back onto the podium. As even now it's going to be a tough task for him to catch back up to those guys. The gap is very large. The only driver still out on track with all the pit stop now is JM. Of course, starting on the hard compound. Which we have a couple more laps before he pits. Kevin has dropped behind Pinky and Marco. What's happened here? Both Marco and Kevin, both Marco and Pinky getting past Kevin there. When I went on this camera, I only saw him ghosting. So either he made a mistake or he got tapped by someone, I'm not sure. Marco thought about a move against Pinky, but could not could not complete it. Marco to do the slide now as well though. And Kevin is closing in to the back of the Alpine. Dia is open for him, but the same goes for Marco of course. And Sully has closed in a lot now. So we've got a 4-man pack here of Pinky, Marco, Kevin and Sully fighting over P6 to P9. Marco with that 3-second penalty is going to end up dropping to the back of this train as it stands. Although he might be able to make a move on Pinky happen now. He's so close behind and no ERS for either driver. So not much chance for Pinky to defend. Marco has the inside line. Can he outbrake the Avatari? They're side by side. Marco hasn't given the space. He doesn't. He does get ahead, but I would say that's questionable. Although, of course, there being asphalt runoff, it isn't... Oh, Sully! Sully's wing is gone! What happened to Sully? Whatever happened to Sully, that's his race firmly ruined. He's gonna have to pit again and get that front wing... Well, I would say changed, but... He has to get a new front wing, there's nothing to change. It's entirely gone for him. And he's letting Ewek pass as well. Oh! And that's Ewek out! Oh no! And it's a full course safety car. Ewek makes a mistake as Sully tries to get out of his way. I'm not sure if Ewek got spooked, if he was trying to adjust his line. And that ended up in him crashing. Well, that's Ewek out of the race on lap 15 of the Singapore Grand Prix and a full core safety car deployed, which is, oh no. I was gonna say that's great news for JM, but he's been caught behind the safety car as he was behind the pit entry, and now he has to drive a full lap behind, and he's gonna lose track position. Sean, Kucho, Gabriel in. So they're gonna go back onto the medium tire. Marco is in, Pinky is in, Kevin is in, Owais is in. Sully of course will be in as well. So, where is JM gonna end up? He has to do a full lap at safety car speed and then he has to make his pit stop. He's gonna drop, a lot of track position here. If he had been before the pit entry, that would have been great for him, because he would have been able to make his pit stop onto the medium tire and have track position as well as tire advantage. Edwin stayed out on those slightly worn hards, 5 lap old. Those will be a good amount slower than the mediums, and that will be all the way to the end as well, because the mediums will easily make it from here. So I'm surprised Edwin didn't make a pit stop. So, crucial thing now is that Sean, Kucho, Gabi, Bazooka, Marco, Kevin, Owais, Pinky, Sully all gonna move on, so that they can maybe jump JM. As he has to crawl behind Bernd Meisender here. And he's surely thinking, go, 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 we have to go as fast as possible here so I can stay at least in a decent position. Of course, he was running in the top 5 before any of the pit stops happened. And then starting on the hard tire, he stayed out the longest, and that's how he got P1 in the first place. But now he's gonna lose it again. He certainly will drop behind Edwin. And then very, very likely will drop behind Sean, Kucho, Gabi and Bazooka. And then we'll have to see about Marco. Because he can't overtake the safety car. That would be end up with him being disqualified. He's in. Edwin is staying out. So Edwin taking the lead on track. JM into the pits. He will go into the mediums to go to the end. So, where's it going to come out? Indeed, medium tires for JM. On the car they go, no wing change. Sean, Gabri, Bazooka, jump him easily. Marco will have him as well. Bazooka is back in the pits. I think Kevin will have JM as well. Could be close, as JM is in the pit exit. He is behind Kevin and behind Owais and behind Pinky. It's close. Yes, he is behind Pinky. JM drops to 9th there, as he had to complete the extra lap behind the safety car, which of course would have been much slower than all of the guys were under the delta. Very unfortunate for JM there. That safety car was so close to perfect timing for him, but instead it has screwed him massively, as he has now lost all the track position that he had, and will have to make his way back to the field as soon as the safety cars come in. So yeah, Edwin on those old hards. We'll see how this works out for him. I'm not entirely... I mean, I get the strategy of going for track position. It's a street track after all. But it's not quite Monaco. It's definitely still possible to overtake. And I think I'll be very surprised if Edwin hangs on to a top 5. Those old hards are going to be slower from here to the end of the race, and they'll be significantly slower. So I'm not sure how this is going to work out for Edwin. This has brought everyone who had incidents earlier back into the race. Like some Arsenio, Desi, Dylan. Yeah, all now back in the hunt for points taking positions. Safety car should be in at the end of lap 18. End of lap 18, sorry. So we'll have a, I wouldn't say sprint to the end, but no more pit stops after this, I'm fairly certain. At least, no more tactical pit stops. If there's any damage, of course, then we might see pit stops. Or if there's not a safety car, I would say it's certainly possible. Safety cars do tend to lead to more safety cars, because the entire field gets bunched up, and you get a lot more battling happening again. which of course does increase the chance of more crashes as well. So Marcelio should catch up at the end of this lap. He's on the soft tires, so those will almost certainly not last to the end. So Marcelio will make one more pit stop here. Currently running in 14th, and with the extra pit stop I think it's going to be rather hard for him to make up any places. And it's also going to be quite crucial here for Sean, Kucho and Gabri to get around Edwin as soon as possible. And of course to stay with the car ahead of them. Once Sean makes his move on Edwin, Kucho has to try and get past immediately as well. Otherwise Sean will start building a gap while Kucho is still stuck behind the slower car. And of course the same goes for everyone down the field. They all have to try and stay with the drivers they're battling. And if they drop behind Edwin and get stuck while their opponent gets ahead, the gap will open up, and yeah, once that gap is there, if you're equal on pace, it stays there. So, safety car in at the end of this lap. Edwin will lead the field around the final sector. He slows down, of course, warming up the tires now, using the brake to, the brake to get some temperature in there. To brake dragging is what they call this. The brake heating up the tire from the inside. Go slowly around the final sector. Well, the safety car is not too far away. I think Edwin is gonna have to go rather late here if he doesn't want to get slowed down by the game. He has not gone quite yet. Safety car's back in the pit lane. Now he's gone. A decent restart. He's caught Sean Moore off guard somewhat. We'll see through the final corner how much faster Sean Moore will be on those mediums. The gap immediately coming back down. Sean is chasing after Edwin, and he's going to want to get that move done immediately. Once the ES is enabled, it'll be a lot easier for the drivers behind to follow through. So this could be Sean's best chance to make the move on Edwin, while no one else can make it happen with him. And then he can just start building that gap. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello.
Great timing, you're coming in right at the end of the race. Sean does not go for the move on Edwin. Backs out of it, and Edwin holds on the P1 at least for the moment. No movement anywhere else down the field either.
Has much happened so far?
Yeah, it's been a pretty decent race for Singapore standards.
Good.
Normally Singapore isn't the most exciting race to watch, but I've been entertained. So, Sean with a much wider line than Edwin, trying to go for the better exit speed. And we'll see, now on the slipstream, is he gonna get the move done this time around the outside? That's rather risky, but Edwin does leave him the space, but Sean has now, yes, there we go, Sean up into the lead. Kucho is gonna try and follow through here on the outside line as well. Edwin squeezing him all the way to the wall. Kucho, oh, contact mate! Kucho on the inside line there. And there's still something in the final corner, and that's finally where Kucho gets the move done. As Mark gets around at Gabri through the final corner. He's got the inside line for turn 1. Has to keep an eye on Edwin as well, doesn't want to accidentally dive from him. Marco up into 4th, and Gabri down to 5th there after it was looking so strong early in the race. The first, the VSC screwed him over and dropped him behind Kucho, Sean, and Edwin. And now he's dropped behind Marco as well. Not the greatest restarts for him, but nothing lost yet. Still a long time to go in this race. Marco makes a move on Edwin up into 3rd. And I'm sure Gabri needs to get that move done as well soon. Edwin is holding up everyone here on those old hards against these fresh mediums. But where's a good spot for Gabri to make it happen? Surely not here. He has to wait until the next DS, I think. The Singapore Sling is not really a good overtaking opportunity. He's getting back up into his teammate as well, of course, Kevin. Closing in on Gabri. And Kevin has the championship to fight for, so he's surely not going to want to sit behind and just watch as Edwin allows the top 3 to drive away here. So let's see, can Gabri have a good exit? He takes the outside line as Edwin defends the inside. And he outbrakes him easily. Edwin goes a bit deep and invites Kevin in as well on the exit. Kevin, does he have the run, Edwin, down to chicane? Yellow flags Marcellia, who is crashed out at turn 14. It's another full course safety car. Just like I said, safety cars breed more safety cars. So we'll see.
Surely Edwin's into the pits here.
Sean is out, Kutro out, Marco out, Edwin in, Gabri in, Kevin out, Allwise
I don't know
out,
if he'll get away with that one.
Pinky out, JM out, Sully out, Bazooka out, Dylan out, Desi in.
Edwin overtook Gabri well before the pit line. Not like you could overtake during the pit line in Singapore anyway.
Well,
I think he thought that Gabri wasn't pitting, so he just went straight in, but then Gabri actually followed in.
yeah, Edwin has gotten back in front of Gabri. They are onto the soft compound tire. 10 laps on soft is rather large soft. So Desi onto used mediums. So Edwin and Gabri have it all to do on those softs, and they're gonna drop off at the end. That's an interesting strategy by them. I mean, Edwin had to pit, of course, and I'm not sure why Gabri went for a pit stop.
Yeah, I think Gabri's given up too much track position now.
Yeah, especially for the, I mean, the gain isn't too large. The mediums are only slightly used, so the softs will be significantly faster, of course, but not for long. It's Singapore after all. Those softs will drop off after about 5 laps.
Yeah, I mean, we started in Division 1. The soft runners did start to fall off with about 4 or 5 laps to go, and the medium were able to run away. Obviously, there is a tyre difference now, so it may take a little longer.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to work out for them. We'll see.
I
mean, I'm sure they will gain from 11th and 12th, but I don't think they'll get back up to where they were. Of course, for Edwin, he would have kept dropping more and more, so it makes sense for him to. For Gabri, I'm a bit confused what he's going or what he's trying to do here. I suppose for Gabri, it's a case of all or nothing. Just trying a gamble because he is 27 points behind in the title fight with 3 rounds to go. Like, it doesn't really gain him anything to conserve a P5. I think he's for him it's P1 or nothing really at this point. Anything else will not get him enough points to have a realistic chance of a championship win this late on in the season. Especially considering that Sean and Kutro are in 1st and 2nd and Kevin is running in 4th with the penalty of Marco effectively putting him on the podium right now.
Yeah. Who's top right now?
In the standings, Kevin.
Yeah.
2 points ahead of Kutro and 6 ahead of Sean. And then after that, Bazooka, Gabri and JM are 27 and 29 behind. 2 of them are tied on 27 and or 27 behind, and then the other one is 29 behind. I'm not sure who was tied. I forgot. No, it's D1 standings.
I don't know how much Gabri would want to help his teammate because him pitting did unleash Kevin.
Okay, Bazooka and Gabri are tied on 87. JM is 85. Sean is 106, Kutro has 112, Kevin is 114. So yeah, Sean is now leading the pack. Safety car should be in the end of this lap. Desi has caught up, so I don't see any reason for the safety car to stay out any longer. So those soft runners, Edwin, Gabri and Desi have it all to do here. Late on in the race. They are currently all not scoring any points. So a lot of cars to overtake. If you want to get back onto the, well, the front running top 5 sort of area positions. Yeah. Safety car has been called in, there we go. And this time it's Sean who had to slow down the pack and conduct the restart. And just like last time, Jonathan joined right at the first safety car restart, Phantom joined right at the second safety car restart, so great timing, guys. Sean slowing down the pack now. He's got Kutro right behind him, and then Marco, Kevin, Allwise, Pinky, JM, Sully, Bazooka, Dylan, and Edwin, Gabri and Desi in 11th, 12th and 13th on those fresh softs. 9 laps to go. Let's see how this goes. Sean slowing right down. The safety car is way ahead, so he can go in any moment if he wants to go early. He's done this way well. And he is gaining some speed, but not going quite yet. Now he's gonna go. And Kucho has reacted very well. Kucho, only 3/10 behind Sean. Not close enough for a move, but all over the back of him anyway. Kevin very close to Marco as well, almost with a terrible restart, and immediately vulnerable Pinky. Edwin, the first move already, as he makes a move on Dylan, who goes off the track there, and that invites Gabi up the inside as well. Although Gabi not quite able to make the move happen, still stuck behind Dylan there in 12th. But Edwin starting well on those soft tires, and immediately overtake enabled, the next move happening. He's up the inside Bazooka, which will turn to the outside for Memorial Corner, but he doesn't need that outside line, he's already ahead before the braking zone. And that's Evan up to 8th, already 2 places made, and what a send on Sully! Thankfully for him, Sully saw it coming and gave him the space, but if Sully had just turned in on him, that would have been entirely Edwin's fault.
Edwin nearly in the barrier there again.
Yeah, Edwin is being very, very aggressive here to make this work. Backs out now in the Singapore Sling. So he seems to have caught on to the fact that he's being a bit over-aggressive right now. Survival instinct has kicked in for Edwin. Oh my goodness me, he's just gone to the back of Sully. No wing damage though, I didn't see any wing that's flying off.
Move on here.
Gabri's got the run on Dylan here, I think.
Oh, does he? Dylan is defending. Gabri's gonna send it up the inside, is he? Yes, he is. Braking late. Gets to the apex first.
Yes.
And then Desi on the exit as Dylan.
Desi to get through.
Yeah, and he might get Gabi as well. They might actually get both of them. Might get Gabi back here. Although, no, Desi not quite going for the move on Gabi. Bottoms out over the curb, and that maybe allows Dylan for a switchback. No, the soft is simply too strong. So Edwin still stuck behind Sully here. He's burning overtake all the way down the main straight. And he is sending up the inside into turn 1. Contact made, Edwin is round. That was inevitable. That was entirely inevitable with how aggressive Edwin was being, and entirely his own fault I would say as well. Sully could not have left any more space.
Yeah, that one just looks unfortunate.
Gabi now with the round Bazooka maybe. He's already very low in EIS and he's only made 2 moves happen so far. As he goes around the end of Bazooka. And the next car ahead of him is Sully, who's already 2 seconds back from JM. Gabi quickly running out of time. And running out of energy, running out of tires I would say as well. The softs are already 3 laps old. They're gonna be like at about 10% already, if not more. As he goes for the move into Singapore Sling. That is not the place, Gabi. Yeah, contact made, didn't work out, and more time lost. Yeah, this would have been the place. If he had stayed closer, he could have sent up the inside the hairpin. And he's killed his exit there as well, not the greatest of exits, and that's Sully safe in P8 for a little while longer again. This is not working out at all for the soft runners.
Oh, I think he's got the X out here though. Sully uses the rear end a little bit.
Yeah, Gabi should have him now on the chicane. Sully is not defending it, he's got all the EAS in the world. But I think he might ever be able to get him back later, once those softs start to drop off a bit. DRS enabled now. And Gabi 2.5 seconds back from JM, 5 laps to go. This has not worked out whatsoever, that pit stop. Of course, he is significantly faster than Sully, he should be able to hang on to 8 for now. Edwin is caught up back of Dylan again. But does not seem to have the exit out of turn 3 to get past the Haas driver. Keep an eye on Kucho and Sean as well in the fight for the lead here. As well as Kevin and Marco in the fight for third. Everyone has now gotten past Dylan. Just as I took the cameras off him. Perfect timing. So yeah, Gabi safely in 8th there. He's gapped Sully by about 8/10 already. So those fresh softs are definitely working right now. But 6 laps to go and he's only in 8th. Lot of work to do still. And he's burned lots of his overtake. JM meanwhile has almost everything still left. Pinky has burnt most of it. So much EAS burn going on everywhere. Dylan with the time penalty now. Always.
The only EAS
might be trying one.
No, neither is JM, although he's very close to the back of Pinky. I think JM could definitely get Pinky if he wanted to, but Pinky has been just above 10%. So for now, JM doesn't know he's below or he's low in EAS because he hasn't seen the red light flashing. But Pinky is close to it. Once JM sees that red light flashing, I think he will. That's when he's going to start to go for it. Gabi is caught up now.
Has his red light flashing.
Yeah, that's why I always knows he's vulnerable. That's why I always knows that Kevin is, yeah, should be able to be overtaken. And of course that fight for 4th is turning into the fight for the podium with Marco's time penalty. So Allwise and Kevin battling for P3 here. That would be crucial points for Kevin in the title fight, but I'm sure Allwise isn't going to want to give him on the podium like that.
Desi overtaking Sully there down the main straight for P9.
I completely missed that. Dylan in the pit lane, onto a fresh on the path, and JM. He's burned some of his overtake, make the move on Pinky up into 6th. Although Pinky is going to try and get back around the outside there, but it's never going to work like that. But he has made JM drop out of the ES to Allwise, which of course means JM is now vulnerable. I'm not sure if that was intentional by Pinky, but a smart move nonetheless, I would say. Separating JM from the top 5, because for Pinky, he's not going to beat those guys anyway. But it has allowed him to maybe... yeah, well, hasn't, because JM has caught back up, but... in theory, it would have allowed him to maybe get back at JM. But now he actually has to contend with Gabri, who is caught up to this pack. Very low in EIS, both of them. Is Gabri going to send it here? I think he's a bit too far back, but then maybe into the chicane. That could be Gabri's chance. If he gets a run, he's got the exit. Both low in EIS. Pinky is too far behind the slipstream. And I think that will be the deciding factor here, as Gabri is up the inside. And should be a rather easy move now. Although, no, it isn't. Pinky's defended that. Okay, fair enough. Maybe the softs aren't quite as strong as they were at the start anymore. JM is caught up to Allwise, and with the amount of EIS that JM is available, he is looking good for a podium, I think. Because both Allwise and Kevin, I mean especially Kevin, don't have a lot of EIS left to work with here. Meanwhile, JM has got almost a full battery.
Sean Mull also has a lot of VRS, which will help him to keep the lead from Kuko. He's just pulled out a second as well, so... yeah,
that's massive. Kuko has to burning EIS to get back into the EIS range. And that's EIS that he will now be missing to make the overtake happen.
Oh, Allwise on the inside of Kevin! Oh my god, that was close to contact.
Pinky made contact with Gabri, and that's Pinky round.
Yeah, knows it
Around the outside of Allwise, and he's put off the move.
I missed that, I'm sorry. I was on board with Pinky, who had a battle with Gabri. They made contact, and Pinky was round.
And then Allwise got a poor exit because he was side with Kevin, and JM took his opportunity and made the move.
So the fight from the podium here, but now between Kevin, JM, Allwise, and Gabri. Penalty to Edwin for ignoring yellow flags, 5 seconds. So he might have passed someone while Pinky was spun around.
You assume he'll try and get that removed.
Well, he's 11th right now, so I'm not sure if he would. I don't think it would matter. He's not going to score points anyway, unless he makes a move with Bazooka.
Slide. I don't know if he had contact or like a rear.
I think JM is going to get Kevin here. Look at the overspeed. Kevin with absolutely no EIS, and JM just drives right past, completely unchallenged. Nothing Kevin can do about it. And JM onto the podium places. Kevin has burned his EIS too early. And he's basically, he's at 0% down the entire down every straight, and he's losing so much time from that. So much straight line speed that's gone with having no, none of the electric components basically working at all. So he's also very vulnerable now to Allwise and his teammate Gabri. Allwise burning some overtake, and that should be Kevin down into 6th here. And Gabri's gonna try and follow through. Allwise is the outside line. Kevin on the inside, Gabri tries to hang around the outside against his teammate, and yes, Gabri up into 6th. Those softs are working a lot better than I thought they would. Kevin into 7th.
Dylan retakes the fastest lap, so he's got at least a point for himself.
Meanwhile, Kevin's title rivals, Sean and Kucho in 1st and 2nd, JM in 4th, effectively 3rd with Marco's penalty. Kevin is losing a lot of valuable points tonight. JM is very close to the back of Marco, might be able to make a move happen on him, but I think that would be the end of JM's charge to the field here. The gap to Kucho and Sean.
No, he's not. Nearly. Thought about it.
The gap to Kucho and Sean simply too large from here. Yellow flags for Dylan. Spin at turn 8. Or Kraft, I'm not sure he spun, but I mean, I didn't go on board with him, but I'm assuming he spun. Gabri now on the back of Allwise. Might be able to make a move happen here, and I think Gabri is the only chance for JM to lose his podium now. Allwise doesn't seem to have the same pace as JM to fight back, and Gabri might be too low in EIS here to make anything more happen than a P6. Although Allwise goes a bit deep, this might invite Gabri in. To maybe move himself into the top 5 at least. Diaz
Yeah,
on for
JM.
Gabri, overtake
Yeah,
enabled of
Bernie.
course.
Easy.
Got the slipstream on him, JM makes a move on Marco up ahead. Gabri does not get alongside Always, but he sends it under brakes.
Anyway.
Gets the car stopped in time, Always leaves him the space and lets him go. Gabri up on the 5th. JM is with the car between himself and Gabri. And I'm sure JM is looking at Gabri and thinking, this could be close. If Gabri makes a move and Marco happen quickly, he might still have a chance in this podium with those softs 8 laps old. How much do they have left in them? I mean, the mediums aren't the freshest either on 13 laps and 12 laps, depending on drivers, so... That might be what's keeping Gabri competitive right now.
A mistake from Always, but now he gets away with it.
Always might have to keep an eye on Kevin there as well, still in the fight for 6th position. Marco is dropping out of the S range to JM. Meanwhile at the front, Sean is extending this gap to Kutscho to 1.8 seconds. Kutscho not quite got the same pace, but not to take anything away from him. He is very, very fast here today as well. Sean is just that little bit faster. Sean and Kutscho destroying their class right now. And I mean, Gabri and JM have done really well as well here. Those late comebacks after the safety car. Gabri leading for a long, long time in this race. Before the first, for the VSC, which allowed everyone apart from himself and JM to make pit stops.
He's going to get the run here on Marco.
There's Gabri up the 4th.
Is he going to run out of time though to catch JM?
JM has a lot more ERS as well.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
JM
not
will be
as much as
tough
it
to
was,
overtake
but
with
it's
the
still
ES
enough.
advantage, and like by the time he's caught him, those softs will be 10 laps old, and he will only have one chance, he will only have one lap. And JM has about 30% more ES, which could be the deciding factor in the 5 at the podium. But I would not count Gabri out here. Those softs are still doing well, but the gap isn't coming down too much right now. JM looking really, really strong on those mediums still. Meanwhile, Always and Kevin should be able to jump Marco for 5th and 6th here. So Kevin is on for his, I think, 4th P6 in a row. I mean, they say consistency is key, but if you're in a title fight, a consistent P6 is not enough. You need a bit more than that.
P6 in realistic yesterday as well.
P6 merchant, some would say. Always P6, I mean, shows consistency, but yeah, I think he would need a bit more. Especially considering, I mean, yeah, all of his title rivals are up there, apart from Bazooka. Bazooka in 10th. Yeah, that might be the end of his title charge in this season. But the other ones, Sean, Kutscho, JM, Gabri, all in the top 4.
And Desi with a 3-second penalty for 8th. Keep an eye if Sully and Bazooka Joe can stay within that 3-second penalty. They might start fighting here, which might drop them out of the penalty.
Marco and Kevin are also still fighting over 7th, I would say. Marco, I think it's, yeah, Marco's got him outside 3 seconds now. And that could be another 2 points loss for Kevin if he loses that P6 to Marco. So,
Bazooka Joe and Sully did crash in Div 1 at this track. Will they
we'll
repeat defeat?
focus on Sean now for the last few corners of the race. Sean taking home another race win in Division 2.
Oh! Marco into the wall! Sorry, he's lost his wing.
Oh, wow. So late in the race.
Surely allow Kevin and White to
Yeah,
finish
that
ahead
will
if they
give
weren't
Kevin
going
that
to already.
P6 now. He should have enough time to stay. Oh, he's going into the wall. He's out. He's
no.
out.
Oh, on the last lap. Oh my god.
Unbelievable.
Well, Sean, around the final corner, takes home the win here in Singapore. Another 25 points for Sean, really crucial for the title fight. Kutscho coming home in 2nd. JM with a great comeback in 3rd, and Gabri with another great comeback in 4th there across the line. Always coming home in 5th, Kevin coming home in 6th. Desi in 7th on track with the penalty, he will drop behind Sully and Bazooka. So Sully in 7th, Bazooka in 8th, Desi in 9th. Edwin home in 10th, and then Pinky in 11th, will jump Edwin for 10th with the penalty. So Pinky 10th, Edwin 11th, Marco 12th with the DNF. Will turn to 13th once Zilling gets past him.
I can't believe Marco did his best George Russell impression.
Yeah, first the wing damage, and then a few corners later the DNF. Running in 3rd for so
surprised no
long,
one said
of
you
course
can
the
get it
penalty,
right.
but Yeah, some points thrown away very late there for Marco. And with that,
the cheers of the crowd. Oh,
Sean
Martin.
takes championship lead. He is now 1 point ahead of Kucho, going to the last 2 races of the season.
Wow.
Sean will be on 121, Kucho will be on 120, and Kevin scoring, oh no, sorry, Sean will be on 130, no, Sean 131, Kucho 130, and Kevin 122 as it stands. Going to the last 2 races. Bazooka Driver of the Day, I would personally give it to... there's a lot of choices. Sean, Gabri, JM, all a great... I think I'd give it to Gabri. The VSC at the start, which allowed everyone else but him to make pit stops, since he was past pit entry while no one else was. He was sort of...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he was suffering from success, you could say, because the gap he made was pretty big, like I think about 4 seconds. And those 4 seconds in the end were crucial, since it didn't allow him to make a pit stop under VSC, and everyone jumped him. And then after he made his pit stop, there was a safety car, which meant he didn't have the tire advantage anymore either. And
Well, good recovery then.
yeah. Well, I mean, JM also didn't pit, worth mentioning, so both JM and Gabri had to come back from that. JM started on the hards, while everyone else started on mediums. So I think JM didn't pit for strategy reasons, and Gabri just couldn't pit. But both of them got screwed by that safety car, or virtual safety car. But yeah, your full race results. Dylan with the fastest lap. The bonus point goes to Haas and Dylan. That has been the Singapore Grand Prix. Hope you all enjoyed it. The 2 of you, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
No problem. Sorry, it's a bit late.
Yeah, me too. That's great.
Got there in the end, better late than not all, I would say. And yeah, 2 more races left to go in Division 2. The Saudi Arabian and Brazilian Grand Prix, and we are in for a very, very thrilling title fight between Kucho, Sean, Kevin, maybe Gabri and JM with an outside chance as well. So many drivers still within contention going to the last 2 races. So I hope you'll be tuning in for those races, of course. The next 2 weeks as well. The final 2 races on F1 23 for Division 2. 7:30 PM UK as always. As well as Division 1 happening on Saturdays, 7:30 PM UK. Same tracks there. Saudi Arabia and Brazil. Title fight still going on there as well. Although only... how boring. Only 2 drivers fighting for the title there. Myself and Kart Racer. But yeah, very exciting end to this game cycle. Both championships in both divisions still very much open. So yeah, any final words from you guys?
It'll be
No, not really.
entertaining. It'll be exciting. I wish the best for all the drivers.
Alright. Thank you all. Hope you enjoyed today's stream. Have a nice evening, and goodbye.
See ya.